Do you find yourself taking the easier path that ends up leading you where you started? Are you always on the go, never finding time to slow down? This is the art of unlearning so you can become a fulfilled you. I want to start off by giving you an analogy by painting a picture in your head of what it looks like to let go and unlearn. Because the art of unlearning is about letting things go so that you can become the person you were always destined to be. I saw a video of Emmy Moore showing what this looked like, and it resonated with me, so I believe that it will resonate with you too. If you can imagine holding a bunch of stuff in your hands, so many things that if you added anything else, you wouldn't be able to carry it anymore. One thing you're holding is the fear of success, the doubt that you'll never be capable of living your dream life, the worry of how you're going to pay your bills, the wall you've put up because you can't trust anyone. You trying to condemn yourself for faking it in front of people when you know you feel very unhappy on the inside. You got the money and it didn't make things different like you thought. When we let go, we allow ourselves to receive. That is when the shift happens. Allow your mind to be renewed and come in this video with an open heart, being ready to receive. Unlearning mindsets, habits, the familiar is something that was very hard for me to do. But I realized that it was truly holding me back and keeping me stuck in a place that I was trying to move out from. As I mentioned in the How to Actually Become the Most Fulfilled Version of Yourself video, what my therapist told me is that I tend to overshare out of the fear of conflict. So I have to work on unlearning that habit so that I don't take that with me where I'm going. And unlearning is not an overnight thing. It takes sacrifice, it takes intentionality, it takes the Lord. And you won't be perfect, and there may be some things you don't even realize that you do. But as we go through this video, I hope that you uncover some things that you've been burying so deep inside of you. Over our lifetime, we pick up habits, routines, and mindsets of people we surrounded ourselves with, the environments we grew up in, and the aftermath of what these traumatic experiences produced. In order to become, we must unlearn. It's easy to respond the only way you know how. All it takes is your decision to start now, no matter how long it takes. You commit today, right now, and say, today is the day that I'm choosing to take back control of what I can control. And that is your mindset, your habits, and your actions. Unlearning can feel like a loss of self because it's all you've ever known. But everything you feel like you've lost, the Lord will replace it and provide you something so much better that you wouldn't even believe it if He told you. Here are 8 beliefs that are contributing to holding you back. Things that I've struggled with before and sometimes struggle with now. Seeking approval from others. This is when you constantly look for validation from other people around you to make you feel like you are enough. You might find yourself making decisions based on what other people think, or even waiting for approval in order to move forward. Unlearning this means realizing that your worth does not come from other people's opinions, but from God and from your own self-assurance. God validates you. You are not validated by other people. The Lord spoke that to me one day. I validate you. And that has stuck with me ever since. So now I'm able to move a different way because I don't walk in fear of what other people think about me. I don't walk and not do something because this person over here might judge me. I do it because the Lord called me to do it and because He validated me. Although it may not seem like the right thing to do right now in my eyes, but one day it will make sense. An example of what this looks like is wearing an outfit because you know you're going to receive compliments on it versus wearing clothes that align with your values. This also looks like not going for your dream because someone else talked down on it. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is the need to do everything flawlessly, which can lead to procrastination and burnout. It's rooted in the fear of making mistakes or not being good enough. When you unlearn perfectionism, you begin to take progress over perfection. And you'll understand that your growth comes from taking action and not from getting it exactly right. I've talked about this in therapy before. Feeling the need to check all the boxes just so that I can receive love. Feeling unworthy if I don't. But I've learned that that is not how the Lord treats us. That love is given to me freely. Fear of failure. The fear of failure can cause anxiety because your mind is making you think that making a mistake or not succeeding will define you. This fear can prevent you from trying new things or stepping outside of your comfort zone. Unlearning this involves understanding that failure is a part of the learning process and it doesn't reflect your worth. Instead of avoiding new opportunities because you're afraid of failing, unlearning this belief allows you to take risks. Knowing that failure is just feedback, it is not a final destination. The same strategies always work. We have to get rid of this belief. What worked in one season may not work in this next season. What got you here isn't always going to bring you there. This belief comes from what worked in the past will continue to work now. But life moves in seasons, and seasons always change, and different challenges require different approaches. Unlearning this means being flexible and being open to adapting your strategies when the circumstances change. An example of this is maybe you relied on a strict daily routine in the past, but now you're in a new season where flexibility is more effective. Unlearning this belief would allow you to adjust your routine to fit your current needs without feeling like you're failing. Worrying. Worry is often rooted in the fear of the unknown or the need to feel in control. When you're constantly worrying, it robs you of peace. It robs you of your joy. Unlearning this means trusting God's plan, letting go of the need to control everything, and finding peace even when the outcomes are uncertain. Anytime I find myself worrying, I read Matthew chapter 6. It saves the day every single time. Doubt. Doubt is the uncertainty of your abilities, your future, or even God's plan for your life. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of second-guessing everything. Unlearning doubt requires faith. Faith in yourself, faith in God's guidance, trusting that He equipped you for what lies ahead. An example of this is, if you doubt whether you're capable of achieving your goals, unlearning this belief would allow you to take a step forward in faith, trusting that you are prepared and supported, giving you the mindset to actually go for it. Helplessness. This is the feeling that no matter what you do, you cannot change your situation. This is the mindset that keeps you stuck because you feel powerless. But sister, God placed so much power within us. Recognizing that you always have the power to change your perspective, take action, improve your life, even in the smallest ways. God literally gave us the authority to do so. An example of this is, if you feel stuck in your career or relationships, unlearning this belief allows you to take responsibility of what you can control rather than waiting for someone else to make the change. Comparison. Comparison happens when you measure your life, your achievements, or worth against others. It leads to the feeling of inadequacy, jealousy. Unlearning comparison allows you to focus on your own journey, celebrating your progress without feeling the need to measure up to someone else's timeline. An example of this is, if you're constantly comparing your accomplishments to your friends or your coworkers, unlearning this belief would give you peace and allow you to focus on your unique path and recognize that everyone's journey is different. Unforgiveness. Unforgiveness is holding on to resentment or anger towards someone, or even yourself for past hurt. It creates bitterness that holds you back emotionally and spiritually. Unlearning unforgiveness involves practicing grace and letting go, which frees you to heal and to move forward. What helps me with unforgiveness is knowing that the Lord forgives me for doing things that I know I'm not supposed to do. So why can I not forgive someone else? Just because I forgive someone else, that doesn't mean that I have to keep them in my life. This just frees you from holding on to that burden and that pain. An example of this is, if you hold a grudge against someone else who wronged you, unlearning this belief would help you forgive, not for their sake, but for your peace, allowing you to live without that hurt. The thing is, if you don't know the Lord, it's very hard to unlearn these things in your own strength. But in His strength, you can be in a tough situation, you can have fear or worry, and you can declare His word over your mind, and these thought patterns will go away. The more you're intentional and the more you plant His word in your heart, things are going to change. The more the need to feel perfect goes away. The need to worry goes away. The need to be validated by others goes away. And you literally experience peace that you would have never imagined. I can remember the first time I truly felt peace. And it was really weird at first because I was always on 10, being in fight mode, always stressed out and having anxiety. I would travel out of town and go to the beach thinking that this would help me be at peace, but in reality, I was in a peaceful place, but I wasn't at peace in my mind. I tried to run away, but there was nowhere to go. But one day I was sitting in my apartment in Boston, and for the first time, my mind was still. I wasn't overthinking, I wasn't worrying. I had put my trust in the Lord, and it hit me. This is what peace feels like. And this peace, you are also capable of having. I am not the only one. Philippians 4:6-8 talks about this kind of peace. It says, don't worry about anything. Pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Verse 8 especially, it tells us to focus on all of those things. When we think differently, we live differently. If you believe that you can't, then you most likely won't. But if you believe you can, you will do the things to try to be better so that it does come to pass. This is what being made by the word is all about. Expressing our authority because we are made in God's image, who in the beginning spoke the word, and everything He spoke became life. Our words can build us up or our words can tear us down. But if we go deeper, a word is an expression of a thought. And our thoughts come from our heart, which is rooted in what we believe in. Do you believe life can actually be better? Do you believe that you can be healed? Do you believe that this is just for a season? Do you believe that there is purpose in your pain? Do you believe that you can feel just as good on the inside as you look or perceive to be on the outside? Do you believe a day will come where you won't have to fake it anymore? Do you believe that you are called and appointed to do something that only you can do? If you answer no, that is okay. That is what the Best Believe Journal is for. To help you be able to say yes to these questions. That after committing to be different, committing to change and letting go of the excuses, you will walk away from the uncomfortable, comfortable life that you're living and walk into your destiny. The key to freedom is in our mind. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. The Spirit of the Lord dwells within you if you have accepted Jesus into your heart. And if you have not, then come on, sister, what you waiting for? So what are some practices you can do today to shift your mind? Daily gratitude. Being thankful for what you have and shifting from a lack mindset to a mindset of abundance. Vision board. Write out the person you can be. Even if it's hard to imagine right now, think about how you want to feel and what that would look like so that you can build the belief that this is possible. I know for me a long time ago, instead of making a vision board, I actually put a screensaver on my phone that reflected where I was going. And then in the future, I did the vision board because I wasn't really a person who wanted to cut out the paper and put it on. But you can also do like a mood board collage on Canva if you wanted. And then you just thank God that it's already done. Because if it's in His will for your life, it is going to happen. He doesn't give us these desires for no reason. A purposeful action plan. Break your goals down into actionable steps. And just take one step at a time. Take it day by day, moment by moment. And don't worry, we're going to go more in depth about this in an upcoming video. Having faith, believing without seeing, but knowing that it's going to come to pass. Prayer. James 5:15 reminds us about the power of prayer, which says, such a prayer offered in faith will heal the sick and the Lord will make you well. And if you have committed any sins, you will be forgiven. Therapy. I can't even tell you how much therapy has truly changed my life. I avoided it for so long. So if I can do it, I know that you can do it too. It is really helpful because the therapist will just ask you all of these questions to really help you find out the root of the issue of where all of this is coming from. Because a lot of us have buried memories so deep, suppressed things so much that it's hard to even think about it on our own. And it'll really give you insight and clarity on how you can move forward, truly helping you get over these emotional blocks and walls you have set in place out of a trauma response. Be intentional, meaning you're noticing what's triggering you, you're noticing how you're responding, and over time you'll start to notice just how much you can recognize when your emotions are getting out of hand. Whenever I get angry or I have a feeling of anger coming, I know how to stop myself in the track and reframe my mind. Abiding in the Lord. Remain in Him, sister. John 15 goes really in depth about this, and I really encourage you to read it because it is going to explain what abiding in the Lord really looks like. But I want to share that you can abide in the Lord in every moment throughout your day. You don't have to sit and be reading your Bible to abide in Him. You can bring Him into your space when you're cooking. You can bring Him into your space when you're driving into the car. You could ask Him questions while you're shopping at the grocery store. Father, which milk should I pick? And even after these practices, you won't be perfect. And I'm going to keep reminding you this because I was someone who really struggled with perfectionism. And this is a great reminder that someone had to do for me, so I'm going to do it for you too. Even I still sometimes struggle, but the difference is I know how to reframe my mind. I don't sulk in those beliefs. I don't sulk in those emotions. And Philippians 4:9 says that we must put into practice everything that we learn. And once we do that, God's peace will be with us. So everything I'm telling you today, apply this to your life. Don't just hear it and let it go out the other ear. Do something with this information, because when it is applied, you will see how refined you are and how much you're going to evolve. It takes time, it takes consistency, but it's worth it, sister. You are capable of living a life that you love, living a life that you're actually fulfilled in. I'm so excited to help you go more in depth on journaling, to help you create a habit that you can be consistent with, because by doing this, you're able to track your progress. I pray this episode blessed you, sister, and that you re-listen to this as many times as you need. If you need more support on your journey, make sure to follow me on all social media platforms at Michaela Inspires. You can also listen to my podcast, Best Believe. And if you need some intentional daily help, you can use the Best Believe journal provided by Made by the Word. I love you. Bye.